Welcome back, everyone. Thank you again for joining us for another video. And now we will be doing part two of the retention between the franchises. I would have done five already. I would have shared my thoughts on Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super Kings, Sunrisers Hyderabad, Royal Challengers Bengaluru, and Delhi Capitals. So now I will be looking at Gujarat Titans, Rajasthan Royals, Lucknow Super Giants, Kolkata Knight Riders, and Punjab Kings. And to be honest with you, I was very surprised about Rajasthan Royals retention. I do agree with the retention of Sanju Samson, Ryan Parag, and Yasash Vijayaswal. Uh, Even though I am a West Indian supporter, I am not too in agreement with the amount of money that Shimran Etmaya was retained for. Uh, Rajasthan would have spent 11 core on Shimran, and I do know that they like him as a finisher, but I think last season he was a bit inconsistent. And I do understand that they want to retain him, but I am not in agreement with the amount of cash they would have, uh, retained him for. And the same for Jurel. And I'm not sure where Jurel will bat. They would have had, a wicket keeper already in Sanju Samson, and I'm not sure what would be the objective, of retaining Jurel. But let us see. Know that they would have had their plans, so we'll just have to wait and see where Jurel will bat in the team, and what will be his, function. But they would have cash out on him for 14 core. I think that's a lot of money, but he's young, and just have to wait and see what Rajasthan Royal will do with Duve Jurel. Uh, but one of the things that really strike me about Rajasthan Royals' retention is the fact that I'm not seeing Josh Butler. I don't know what would have gone wrong there. I'm not sure if it is the injury problems, they did not retain him, or there would have been a breakdown in probably negotiation. So I am really not sure what is going on there as it relates to retaining Josh Butler. But let us wait and see. And one of the things also is that even if they want to retain him in the auction, they do not have an RTM. So they will, if they want to retain him, they would have to fight for him in the auction. So that's something that we have to, watch and see what will unfold as it relates to Josh Butler. Let's now move on to Gujarat Titan. In fact, before I move on to Gujarat Titan, I think so Rajasthan Royals would have spent 79 core on their retention. As I said, they would have retained Sanju Samson, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Ryan Parag, Dhruv Jurel, Shimran Etmaya, and Sandeep Sharma as an uncapped player. Right? So they have 19 slots in the auction, with 7 of those slots will be for overseas players. Alright, so let's move on to the Gujarat Titans. And I think before the auction, really haven't heard much talk about the Gujarat Titans, what they are planning to do. But what I can do say though is there is a big tick for me in relation to them retaining Rashid Khan, Shubman Gill, and Sai Sudarshan. Those are 3 really good retention. And Gill and Sai are two good opening batsmen. They are a very good combination. And retaining Tiwatia is a no-brainer for me. So, but I do have a question mark surrounding Shahrukh Khan. He has not delivered much for them last season, and so I'm not sure what will be his role this year. But let us wait and see. So he is one of the uncapped players that would have been retained by Gujarat Titan. So they have, one RTM in the auction, and they can retain one cap player. So I'm not sure if they will use that to retain David Miller, Mohamed Shami, or Noor Ahmed, but we'll have to just wait and see what Gujarat will do. So Gujarat going into the auction, they will have 20 slots, and 7 of those slots would be for overseas players. All right. All right. Let's move on to Lucknow Super Giant to see what they have done, and they would have broken the bank, for Nicholas Puran. They would have retained him for 21 core. And one of the things that really stood out to me coming out of Lucknow is that they did not they let KL Rahul go. That I think that was on the card, to be honest with you. But one of my biggest concern is the fact that they did not retain Marcus Stoinis, who would have done very well last season for them, in my estimation. He is a player that can bowl in the power play, in the middle overs, and at the death. He's very versatile, and he is a good power hitter. So I'm not sure what would have transpired between Lucknow and Marcus Stoinis, but let us wait and see what will happen. And my concern with the retention of Mayank Yadav and Mohsin Khan, those are two good bowlers, but the issue I have with those two bowlers is that they are very injury prone. So if Gujarat, if they can't keep fit for the entire season, I'm not sure what will happen, as it relates to the bowling department for Gujarat. So something that we'll have to wait and see what will happen where those two players are concerned. And another player that they would have retained is Ravi Bishnoi. That's a good one. Probably think they overspend a bit, retaining Bishnoi for 11 core. But yeah, that's Lucknow for me. So they would have spent 51 core in the retention, and so they have 69 core in the purse for the auction. They have one RTM that they can buy a cap player. They have 20 slots, and 20 of those, out of those 20 slots, 7 would be for overseas players. Let's move on quickly to Punjab Kings. Punjab Kings, this team is, there is so much going on with this team. It seems like this year they are going to rebuild the team in the auction. They have only retained only 2 players. That would be Shashank Singh and Prabh Shiman Singh. Right, those were 2 standout players last season, to be honest with you. But what struck me about Punjab King is that they did not retain Rabada, Liam Livingston. There are no, Arshdeep Singh, right? But the thing about Punjab is that they have, they have spent only 9.5 core in the retention, so they have a massive 110.5 core in the auction, right? They have 4 RTM cards to buy 4 cap players. So I think probably they will use the RTM to retain Arshdeep Singh in the auction. But let us see what will happen. Not sure why they did not retain him, though, to be honest with you. Not sure. Really would want to know why they did not retain him up front. He was one of the best bowler for them last season, and that would be a big loss if Punjab um, could not retain Arshdeep Singh. So as I said, Punjab seems to be rebuilding their side in this year's mega auction, right? So we'll just have to wait and see what Punjab will get out of the auction. So on the final franchise, KKR, Kolkata Knight Riders, the first thing that strikes me is that there is no Venkatesh Iyer, right? He wasn't, to be honest with you, with that big price tag, he wasn't very consistent last season. He came up big in few big matches, and so I think probably they will, try to re-sign him in the auction. I'm not sure. They have no RTM card, so they would have to fight for him in the auction. But let us wait and see. Another thing that strikes me about KKR is that there was no Phil Salt, right? Phil Salt and Narayan combination was one of the highlights of last season's IPL. They would have lit up the IPL so many times last season, right? With their, destructive batting at the top for KKR. But there is no retention for, Phil Salt. So just have to wait and see what will happen there. But I think KKR would have done well otherwise. Retaining Rinku Singh as a finisher, that's a no-brainer. Chakravarti, no-brainer as well, very good leg spinner. And in fact, he has found his way back into the Indian team. So he has been, doing well since last season. Sunil Narayan is another no-brainer. Andre Russell is an asterisk beside Russell. Think they would have retained him for 12 core. I'm not sure if Russell still, worth that amount of money with the amount of injury problems that he have or he has been having, and the fact that he is very inconsistent is, the asterisk for me. Even though I am a West Indian supporter, I try to be very balanced in, how I, analyze the game of cricket. Russell, even though Russell is a no-brainer in terms of retention, but it's just the price money that is a concern for me. But he's a no-brainer in terms of retention. So, so they would have, retained Harshit Rana. He's becoming a very good player. Ramandeep Singh, another uncapped player, so they would have retained two uncapped players. So, so I think KKR, they would have done a good job, other than I'm not sure what is going on with Shreyas Iyer and KKR. Not sure if it is the price money that he is, wants. They could not, pay him for. Not sure. He was the captain last season, but let us see what will happen. And the fact that the franchise went for Ramandeep over Shreyas Iyer just suggests that they have a big role for Ramandeep this year. So we just have to wait and see what will happen. So to be honest, those are my thoughts as it relates to the retention. The mega auction will be very interesting. There are so many iconic players there. So many players are not retained. So it's going to be an interesting auction, and just stay tuned to Gameyaaad TV, and please remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day. God bless you.